'cause I'm stuck in limbo. falling up, I'm falling down from the sky and from the ground. Up above, just like below, and I don't know where I should go. 'Cause I'm stuck in limbo. I'm out of love, but I guess I deserved it. Trying to hide, to pass you by. I'm getting time, feeling fine. I'm light as air, no one can reach me. Lost in a dream, lost in between. Let's keep on flying, let's keep on breathing. I'm falling up, I'm falling down from the sky and from the ground. Up above, just like below, and I don't know where I should go. 'Cause I'm stuck in limbo. Cause I'm stuck in limbo. Cause I'm stuck in limbo.
Ja. Good morning. Or good day, pretty much. Yeah, it seems to be. Stuff seems to be working. Camera on, then we can close the door. John was driving this morning, so we need to bring the seat a little bit forward too. We had the big guy driving this morning. Let's put the chat phone in a better spot. Now we should be good. Good to go. You can see how the plow can swing freely sideways a little bit when you drive in like a hole with the right hand or left hand side wheel. Then you see how it's like plow can swing a little bit. That's what makes it so you can actually, when you have the plow in the ground, you can turn a little bit. Don't want to turn much, but there's a little bit of a room for movement. Yeah, this is getting sloppy here. Have to drive a little bit in different places so we don't muddy up this kind of road here. But yeah, it doesn't take much rain this time of the year. As soon as you get like 30 mil or something, then everything turns quite muddy. Now we can plow this little bit that we left here, I think. Thought about doing this yesterday, but I forgot. Or we couldn't really see backwards too much at the end there. corners. This is the stuff that takes some extra time on this field. Yeah, it's getting muddy here. You can see how the support wheel is. Can leave it a little bit higher there. Support wheel is kind of almost going in the ground too much. We should be good there. Just a little bit, then we'll do this part, then we can do this part right here. All kinds of shapes and forms on this field. And of course it's drizzling again. It should really not rain much this week, but seems like right now at least it's more often than not it's coming down a little bit. You can see this field, it's wider right here than at the other end, so now we'll have to do shorter passes here and all kinds of monkey business to get this to work out. Probably is this about the same. I kind of want to leave like same width, and then we can do a few passes pretty much parallel to the ditch. One pass, another pass. I think we can pretty much, this piece might be quite the same width here. We're gonna have to maybe we could do a few passes, like still different, but from that part I think we can do it something like that. There should be about two passes with the combine. So I kind of want to try to leave the same width everywhere. I think over at the end it might be less than that already, but it's a little narrow. We have to do a few back and forth turns here. This is the stuff that slows you down quite a bit, but I could mark even here, like, but I think we can eyeball it, like one pass, two pass, if we do here somewhere. Might be quite good. Yeah, it might be narrower there. It's kind of hard to see. It should probably make a little pass there, but probably get it good enough like this. John is checking the area a little bit. Here we can turn like this, then we can save on our clutch leg a little bit. Just turn around like this when we have nice room here. There now, and I look at it, so this should be 1, 2, somewhere there. Do these like we are marking 1, 2. If we say here, it's probably somewhat good. Could do just a little scrape with the plow here to mark it. Maybe right here. Really hard to see, otherwise this might not be completely parallel with the ditch, but we'll try to do it as well as we can. Have something at least to aim for, I guess. Might be a little bit wider there, but at least roughly the same. Usually maybe leave a little bit wider even. Now we have to do, it's like I can't turn with one reverse, I have to reverse like twice, so it kind of slows it down even more. But luckily it's a pretty small piece. Plowing like smaller, like this will be very interesting back here, like the last piece there. It's gonna be quite the zigzag and quite the thing. Figure out all the angles. At least most of it we can do like this here, so it should be longer passes. But then there's a little bit that's gonna be kind of slow at the end there. If we back like this, we can probably do it with just one reverse. Cool toady. Low down. Kaleo indeed. Nice plowing. Pretty good, get to plow the whole day. Not bad. Or not the whole day. John did some in the morning, but at least a decent bit here. just got through it for a few years, but there will see much more skill. I'm not very skilled. Like it's, I would say I'm pretty average plower. And with the plowing, like especially in a field like this with a lot of shapes, there's many strategies you could use here. As long as the field ends up being completely turned over, it's kind of fine. You could use many strategies here. But yeah, mostly it's gotta have your plow, like all the adjustments good. I think my dad and brother are also pretty good at adjusting the plow, so it's pretty well adjusted now. You can see all the straw gets turned over. Like we don't see any straw pretty much here. It's like from this it turns to that pretty well. Hides all the straw. I would say that's the hardest part, like getting the plow adjusted and everything. Like the driving itself here is pretty, like, not hard. The adjustments and everything like that, that's the trickier part, I would say. Just a little bit left in this small triangle, then we can do the longer passes. Or what happens next. So the next thing will be next spring. We will put some new seeds into this, yes. Not right now because it's fall, but yeah, next spring. When the weather is gonna be nice and warm again. So this is kind of just preparing the soil for next year. We're not gonna seed anything this fall anymore. But yeah, next spring, this will, I think on this field next year we will have oats. ends of the field was the hardest part. Yeah, so we'll see. It rained a little bit the last few days, so when we go back there, it might get a little muddy. Right here, it's not too muddy because there's it's different soil here, but you can see there, and when we go back there closer to the forest, we might be spinning some wheels later today. You can already see like a little bit of dirt is sticking to the wheels, but so far here we don't have wheel spin, but yeah, back there it can get muddy. Because yeah, back here it's like more clay. And rain plus clay is always ends up being quite slippery. Hello, team. Oh, neighbor is burning some trash there, I think. Or hopefully it's trash at least, because I see smoke. Hopefully nothing more serious. Now we just have a little bit left. Now it's probably faster to just back it up. And also back here, like the rest of the field is pretty rock free, but back here close to the forest again, we might be hitting some rocks occasionally too. I know there's at least 3 rocks that are hiding below the surface. And I remember roughly where they are, but not exactly, so we'll know when we hit it with the plow though. The plow will be jumping up from the ground, so we'll know when we hit them. One more pass here, then this is good. Then we'll leave this last bit. We can do it at the same time as we do there's gonna be a little headland here, and then this part we will do in this direction. I believe, if I remember correctly, I don't know if John is in chat, this should be turned this way, so we should start. I think we should start from this edge. And yeah, this is a little bit, I think it should have ended there, so this should have been a little bit more there, but it's gonna be a little curve on this, but we'll do it this way, and then it's gonna be a little bit of a curve, but it's fine. Then we can start probably somewhere. We turn around, and probably somewhere here. Have to go a little bit more slowly here when you do the first pass in the other direction, over this stuff that's plowed in the other direction. I plow day and night now that it's season. No, we only have this field and another field to plow, so technically it takes like, well, we're gonna probably do it in like 4 days, like pretty short days. But yeah, we do not need to go 24/7 now. Don't have that much to plow. Here we could do a couple of shorter passes first because it's kind of turning. Too sharp of a turn right there, I think. Slippery stuff. Here's more branches we cleared from the ditches. Big piles everywhere. Yeah, here if we go this way, then we can go. Probably something like that, then we'll do a little short pass there. Straighten this out a little bit. I could drive this like this, but it's can do a few short passes here that will straighten it out a little bit. That other side is also a little bit like too much like this, but should be okay-ish. Guess now it's gonna be a little bit straighter. Doesn't need to be perfectly straight, but looks a little bit better, I guess, if it's straighter. perfectly straight, but a little bit better. Oh yeah, this is gonna be bounce. Tim, I guess you can write in Finnish if you have problems with English, because I really don't understand what you're writing half the time. If we can get this thing to turn. It's definitely getting slippery. Slippery here where it's clay. Back there in the corner it might get really interesting. Do you have any advantage in weights when you're going? We don't have any extra weights on the tractor, no, if that's what you're asking. Just the normal tractor weight. See when we plow how there is a little bit of water at the bottom. It did rain a little bit the last few days, so a little bit sleepy. I can probably go into same gear as before. Speed it up. Now we got the pretty much the tricky part done there. Now it should be back and forth for a decent amount of time here. Then we run into, there's like one rock, and then at the very edge there it's gonna be all kinds of funny business. Nokia mobile phone has a really large order. I don't think it was a large order, but Nvidia is gonna partner up with them. I don't think they're gonna order phone. I think it was more about the like cell networks. I think that's what Nokia does mostly these days. It's like, it's not phones, it's the mobile networks. But yeah, I guess it was good news for Nokia. Or Nokia, or depending in which language you wanna say. Those shares. I don't think I have any Nokia shares. I'm pretty sure I don't have. Somewhere here. We'll see if we can. We'll definitely find it when we hit it, but might be able to spot it before. I think it's maybe there. Be able to. It's almost like visible at the surface. Might be right there. Radar on. I'm trying to spot them, but the ones that you don't see from the surface are pretty hard to spot. I don't have a rock radar, but I'm pretty sure that there should be one somewhere here, then there's another one close there, and then there's maybe a third one there. Like, I'm talking about rocks that you can't see from the surface, but the plow definitely hits them. Might be right here somewhere. Don't really, I kind of know where it is, but not the exact place. Animals lives in these fields. The list is too long to say, I think. If you mention the big ones, then deer, moose, fox, probably some mice, birds, foxes, bears, wolves. The list is very long, and I didn't like you could mention. There's probably like, or there is literally millions of like small bugs that live inside the dirt. The list is definitely too long to say on stream. Yeah, we have wolves here. I've seen in the last couple of years, I've seen actually on this very field, I've seen, it might have been the same wolf, but I have seen it like 2 times, or seen a wolf 2 times, which is pretty cool. Bears, yeah, bears. Bears I haven't seen, but not close, not far from here there was some like bales that were torn up by a bear. So there is both bears and wolves around here. Not many, but there are definitely some. Yeah, Combine is sleeping now. Sleeping for next year. Wants to break a little deeper here. We could adjust this a little bit. Maybe a little bit higher. Being a farmer hundreds of years without these machines, yeah, then you did everything by hand. They still do in many parts of the world. Everything by hand, or maybe they have like a horse or some sort of animal to help, but it's still a reality in some places for sure. Not everywhere do they use tractors. We could adjust this one a little bit so it doesn't let the plow as low. A little bit like, you could try it right there. It's kind of a minor adjustment, but could still have a little bit of an effect. Let's open this up a little bit so it doesn't get too warm here. On our farm, what do you grow? Mostly different types of grain on the like bigger fields, and then in the garden I have like all kinds of stuff, like potatoes and carrots and yeah, you name it. But in the big fields it's pretty much, yeah, different types of grain. We had some peas also this year, but for the most part it's like oats and wheat and barley and things like that. Also locally around Europe. Well, the grain, I'm like most of it is used in Finland, but for example, this year the oats, they export it. So it's actually gonna go somewhere, probably somewhere in Europe. I don't really know exactly where it goes, but at least it goes to somewhere else than Finland. But yeah, for the most part, the stuff is used in Finland, I would say. Most of it, and then sometimes a little bit it is exported. What is that machine doing exactly? It's turning the dirt, flipping the dirt almost, not 360, but pretty much flipping it upside down. We're almost going in the ditch. Get stuck. It's a possibility. Mostly when we drive in the forest though. Usually we don't get stuck in the fields, but in the forest I've definitely been stuck a few times. But it is, I mean, the surface is kind of slippery now, so you could, especially in the corner back there, it might get pretty muddy there. But yeah, hopefully we don't get stuck. But it is a possibility always. Yeah, this tractor actually has really good tires. The tires are pretty much like brand new. Like a few years old, but they're not worn down at all. But the thing is now when it's like muddy, you can see how the tires kind of get filled with mud, so that makes it slippery. But the tires themselves are really good on this tractor. Basically brand new. The problem usually becomes when if you sink in, because then even good tires don't help. If you sink in like half a meter, then you're just gonna be spinning the tires, and then you need to either have somebody else come pull you out or somehow get more traction in the tires. But yeah, it's been pretty dry, so I think like the surface is muddy, that's why you see it sticking to the wheels. But underneath it's not very wet, so that's why I think we're not gonna get stuck. Like we might be slipping around there back in the corner, but I don't think we're gonna get stuck. We might be ice skating a little bit, but hopefully not getting stuck. What do you love being a farmer? What do you hate? I love the freedom. And then I don't like the financial side of it. Now the rock should really be somewhere here, but it's right there. It's really hard to say, because it's just barely visible, or not really visible even now with the stubble. The program My Neighbor is Getting Married. No, I have not heard of any program like that. I don't really watch much TV. Some sports, but other than that, I don't really watch normal TV pretty much at all. I guess not many farmers are making hundreds or of thousands of euros per year. You can make that much, but the cost is so high. that's so it's really easy, or not easy, but you can easily make 100 grand per year. But then if the cost is like 90,000, then you're not making that much. Yeah, so there's a big difference between profit and how much. I mean, the income can be high, but usually the outgoing money is also really high. And then the difference is not very big. So there was another YouTuber from Finland, they have like cows, and then one year they said they had 550,000 income, and then the costs were like 500,000 euros. So then it was a pretty big farm, so they made maybe from the farming like 50,000. But that's more closer to the reality. Like the costs and profit, they're both big, but the profit is not very big. Do you have employees? No, it's me and my brother. Me and my brother that run the farm. Dad is also helping along sometimes. But yeah, with our size farm, we can't hire anybody. It's if I would hire one guy full time for a year, then we would literally never make any profit. It would be loss every year. So that's not the possibility even. Nor do we really need any. Like, we have plenty of workforce. That's not an issue. Like even today, my brother did a little bit of plowing in the morning, and now I'm just continuing. So even this job, we can split it like pretty much 50-50 with my brother. Car crash near last week. Not that I know of. Is that the rock? There's some green stuff there. It should be right here now. Maybe that is where the rock is. Maybe not. There it is. There the rock was. You can see how the plow was bouncing off the rock, so now we know when we come back that should be the rest of that rock. And otherwise there should be no rocks for a while. Now we found it. Right here there might be some rock. Maybe. Dozens of cars crashed. Yeah, it was the one day where there was like it was cold overnight, and then yeah, a lot of people got in like a big accident. Yeah. Now I know what you mean. Yeah, it's not very close to us here, but yeah, I know they had it in the news. It's always the legendary in Finland. It's always the news in the fall. You always know before it that they're gonna say at some point when there's like an accident. Then they say in Finland they always say winter surprised the car drivers. That's always the headline when there's a crash in the fall. or when you get the first snow or first ice. Winter surprised the car drivers. That's a pretty legendary news headline in Finland, at least. It's every year, every year it's gonna be in the news when there's some random accident, and it's always surprised by winter. Have you ever run over a small animal? I mean, it depends how small you go. There's worms in the ground, so for sure we're running over some worms right now. It's impossible to not run over. Like when you walk, you're gonna crush some bugs. Technically impossible not to run over some critters, but nothing bigger, I think. Yeah, now we're gonna slow down here where the rock was. Might hit the plow even more now. It was right there. Probably gonna switch down a gear here. Yeah, there's the rock, so it's not at the surface, but it's probably gonna hit the plow a little bit. Yeah, that wasn't bad actually. That rock is one where it's probably a big one, but it's like an iceberg, so it's just a little peak is hitting the plow, but most of the rock is like way deeper. But yeah, at some point, if we have extra time or something, we might try to remove those rocks. Dig around them a little bit and then either use normal dynamite or some snail dynamite. Break off the little part that hits the plow. But yeah, the one thing is when you're mowing grass sometimes, then you can definitely like run over a rabbit or something, because you really can't see anything when there's thick grass everywhere. That's probably the biggest animal I've run over, like probably a rabbit at some point. When they're hiding down in the grass, like it's impossible to see them all. But yeah, I don't think anything bigger than that. Or there might be two rocks in this place, because that one was very deep. It just barely hit the plow. There might be another one close by. Maybe. My memory fails me here, but I think there might be two there. Then I know there's one at the edge there. Do you ever farm at night? Sometimes, but usually not. So, for example, this job you could do in the middle of the night. But a lot of the work, like harvesting, you can't do when it's dark because it's too wet. Like a lot of the work you can't do when it's dark, but yeah, could do, but we don't need to work during the night. We try to make it so that we don't have to work when it's dark. Sometimes it happens, but for the most part not. Hello there, Hobby Brule. But yeah, I think I know some of the other farmers at Stream, some of them are like contractors. So they do work for other farmers, and then they might have to work like very long hours sometimes. If there's like a few farmers that need like a lot of fields plowed at the same time, then then you might have to do like really long hours. But we are mostly just farming on our own farm here. We're not doing any contracting, like working for other farmers. So. Like occasionally we do, like in the winter we do plow some roads for some neighbors, but it's very, very small scale contracting. A little bit more, then I can probably go, like when we take a break here, I can take the camera with me outside and I can show you the plow like from the outside. When it's in the ground, then you can get the even better, like see better how it works. Yeah, we can do a little bit more here. Maybe work is to like halfway mark here and we can take a break. A rock. That'll wake you up. So yeah, the rock, when the rock hits the plow, it's not gonna break the plow, but you definitely wake up when you still feel it when it hits the rock. You might even have heard like the banging on string. Yeah, this is our own field. Oh, we got the support wheel is not. Oh yeah, that might have. Now it's right. No wonder it went a little deep there. So it jumped so much that the support on the steering wheel, you can see it went kind of deep there. No wonder it sounded like the tractor was pulling a little harder. Break anything, but it bounced off the support that supports the wheel that keeps it from going too deep. Kind of jumped off. No wonder it was pulling a little hard. That can happen sometimes. Or then sometimes you can forget to flip the plow around like this. Then it's really not gonna do a good job. I could show that also, like it's gonna be very uneven if you don't flip around the plow. See how the dirt deeper down looks different there, where it went. Plow went a little bit too deep. before it normalizes. Probably happened right here after the big rock, but now we've hit 2 rocks. Now there should be, oh, there's even more rocks here. 3 rocks. We might be plowing a little deeper than previous years because now we're hit like 3 rocks there. Now there really shouldn't be too many rocks before the very edge of the field. Rocks. The only thing that they bang on is this plow when we're going like in the ground. You can't really see the rocks, they're just iceberg style rocks hiding below. There was like 1 rock, and there was a couple there close by. Sun comes out at least, then we can take a break for sure. Or when we reach this rock here, I think it might be a good break time then. Few more times back and forth. Are about maybe 20 meters from the big rock there. Should really take the like GPS coordinates or something of the rocks. Know exactly where they are because there's not too many in this field even. Most of it is like rock free. the how big of a slice I get from a product you buy in the store. Unfortunately, it's not in my hands. So. But yeah, I also hope it's gonna be a bigger percentage. It's a little bit too small at the moment, I would say. Planting next year, oats. We'll put a lot of oats next year. We have a few fields that will be grass, but we'll be planting a lot of oats next year. Oats. That seems to be having the most stable demand. Really the only thing that hasn't really dropped in price here lately. So we'll hopefully it stays at a decent level, the price next year also. Never know, it could dump next year also. When you plant stuff in the spring, then you don't really know, like the price can change a lot during summer. So when you plant in the spring, you're just hoping that the price is good in the fall. But a lot of the time it can change a lot. So one extra difficulty with farming. Then we can take it's kind of not lunch break, but just a break. And I can show you from the outside pretty much how it looks. A closer look of the plow. this. I only got like this part, and then there's a little bit there and the other headland left today, so it's gonna be quite slow the last part, but should be able to do this big day most likely. One wheel in the ditch. Not one leg in the grave, hopefully, but one leg in the ditch a little bit. Or one wheel in the ditch, I should say. As long as it's just one wheel, then you're fine. And if it starts to be 2 or 3, then you might be in trouble. Here, I think we can go. The wheel might go over the rock, but I think the plow should not be hitting it. No. Very close, but we did not hit that rock yet. But that's also, this is a pretty big rock here. This one we can see at least, so we're not gonna hit it that much. But it's almost looks, from here it looks like a whale. It's like a long and narrow rock. Almost looks like a whale swimming in the field. Yeah, we'll drive a little bit here, then we'll take a break. We can go outside and check even. If it doesn't start to rain right now. Pretty dark clouds there, but maybe it can stay without rain for a few minutes. Oh, actually we can turn around because then I can go out from this door. Don't need to walk on the muddy stuff as much. if I put this phone here, then I can take this with me, then we can go outside, take a quick look from the outside even. With this phone, I'm not gonna be able to read chat. I mean, unless I hold this one in my hand. Could do it if I can get this one around my waist. Maybe. Maybe we'll just hold both things. Shut the tractor off too. Maybe I'll just hold it like this. Usually I have this around my waist and then I don't need to hold it, but... Come on, chat phone. Why are you not flipping? Yeah, now we can take a look how it plows. So here you can see how it goes when it goes in the dirt. Like the wings turn to dirt, and then the last you end up with this like little ditch, and then the one side of the wheels is kind of going in that ditch. That's what keeps you in the right spot. Like you can see you drive with these wheels down in this little ditch. That keeps you in the right spot, like left, right. That's why you, as soon as you have your wheel down here and turn it a little bit like this, then you don't need to really touch the steering wheel too much. Like it goes on rails almost. Or like the oldest auto steer available is this little trench you do when you plow. But yeah, you can see there's a lot of straw from this here, so it's good to plow this down. If I would try to seed into this, then it wouldn't grow very well. There's like, it grew pretty well this year, so there's like a lot of straw. Now when we hide it like this, it will be much easier to put the seeds into that. We're gonna still smooth this out in the spring, like we're not gonna put the seeds directly into that, but this is a good start then. Just put the seeds in. But yeah, how is the small picture? I see a small picture. I have a cell phone there. It was like lagging yesterday pretty badly. At least it shows you, I think it runs like most of the time, but then it stops a little bit, it seems. Yeah. I don't know why it does that, it's weird. At least the mainstream is running like good. And then yeah, these discs, they kind of just cut the ground before there, so it's easier to turn it around. Especially if you have like grass, then those cutting discs are pretty useful. But yeah, from here you get a pretty good like vantage point of how it does it. And then depending on the soil type also, here it's more clay, so it doesn't flip it like completely flat. But when we did the other part there where the dirt is like all smooth, then it like flips it almost flat. But yeah, I'll put you in here, I can take you in a little break. I need to take a little break here. I guess we can do it. It's from Norway, just like Yara today. I don't know if Yara previously was Norsk Hydro. But yeah, old fertilizer bag. Maybe I have to look it up online, see if it's the same company still, or maybe it was a different company. Oh yeah, maybe did I remove it, or maybe it was a pic for Discord. That would definitely be a good picture for Discord. Now we can just load this rotten wood, if it stays together. That is the question. His car had some car issues. Well, that's not good. Put this back, that back. This should be good. It's kind of twisted up, but maybe we should be good. Does this battery have anything left? Yeah, 3. Should be ready to go. Ready to go. The small picture died. Well, I can run like this for a little bit. I can try to get it back in a bit. Oh, there, Miha Lord. Yeah, this is Monka steer for sure. today it's like sun is shining there and then it's like very dark clouds here. Variable. We haven't really had any sunshine here yet. Maybe we can get a little bit at some point. Side here and plow the headland because then I can go longer past there again soon. I can probably go do a little bit there now and then do this. Should we turn this way, I think. Muddy. Lift a little bit so we can go forward. Yeah, we're spinning a little bit here. This end here, it's quite clay and then it's quite getting a bit muddy. one's bounce otherwise. Should be last pass here. Not this one. But when I move that one. We could do, either I can do it like this and this. Probably need to do a few short passes. First like this and then headland, mini headland. This ditch kind of curves here, which is not the nice with plow. You can't like curve too much, it's too steep to just have the plow in and turn. So. If anybody got some spare dynamite, they can come and blow this rock up. Free rock to blow up. And then from there we can almost drive all the way to there. Now we just need to fill in this little piece. Short one there because we need to go a little bit further. Tricky when it's round. Round shapes are not easy to plow. really want to do too many like of these passes, but if we can drive there then from here I can turn. This is not too steep anymore. To somewhere around there maybe. Try to line things up best we can here. Short one here still. Actually the cell phone to work here. I think it's usually just need to restart the start the broadcast. That usually fixes it. And we had it like this way. We'll see if it pops up on its own or if we need to do some things. Sometimes needs a little kicking to get it working. Probably need to do a thing here. There we go, but then it's of course portrait mode. Damn you cell phone streams. Maybe there's a setting to lock this. Now it's probably good. Probably. Maybe. Don't go back to that portrait mode. It's when you shake it. I don't know if there's a setting that you could lock it in. That's highly annoying when I put it there, it's gonna go into that portrait mode. Can we just do it this way? It's gotta be something with how it feels at the camera is. Remember having issues with like this before with the damn cell phone streams. Don't know if there's a setting to lock. Maybe we need to. Oh, now it's like taking a video or something. Now it seems good here. Okay, let's try to put it here. And now it's starting to rain, goddammit. We don't need more rain now, it's getting slippery as it is. Now I think it should be working. I can try to do this. And the plow is big and the other picture is small. We can keep it on the normal guy, I guess. Coming down pretty hard even now. Hopefully it doesn't rain like this for a long time. Gonna get even more mud. that is finally good. Then we could probably either start one pass here or probably might start one here still, so that I think we can start from the corner here. Now this corner here, now this is where it might be real money. Doesn't look too bad, there's not even like water standing, so that's a good sign. But here in this corner it almost never grows, so it's kind of a rough. Oh, there is standing water here, I see that. See it from last time. So now if we can kind of plow back into that, then it should be fine. Yep, some wheel spin is detected. Here's a block, I think. Be able to pass it like that. Pretty much at least. Could have done maybe a little bit more here. We'll see if it's like two not straight, then we can do a few passes here. Now it's raining a lot, now we can pretty much leave that one out. Again, it shouldn't rain today at all, but no shocker that the rain forecast is wrong. should be pretty much rock free for like the most part, and then we got the really tricky stuff here, the most tricky stuff we got on the whole farm. Like there's a bunch of rocks there, there's a bunch of rocks there, and then there's like a small piece in between, another piece behind, and all kinds of funky stuff. Now this should be pretty smooth sailing now for a little bit. Here in the beginning, but it's far, it's far. Pedal. Yeah, there's a little bit curvy stuff here, but it's fine, it's fine. Slight curves are fine. Now the rain stopped at least, so that's good. Maybe some sunshine next. Looks like a rainy day. Well, it's like 95% non-rain. But then just a few minutes ago we got a few raindrops. But yeah, during this week pretty much it has rained a little bit. So it's a little bit, especially in the really clay parts, it's a little greasy, but okay, it's okay. Could be more muddy, could be some deep mud, and then it would be no fun. See, like here in the ditch, I guess there's a little water flow now, but it's not much, so it's still generally, I wouldn't say dry anymore, but it's not soaking wet still. But yeah, where it's clay, then the surface gets pretty, doesn't take much this time of the year. just a little bit of rain and then the surface gets slippery. Some rocks, there's a little hill there. Seems like there's a few rocks that are just almost below plowing depth. Yes, we could. Yeah, I mean, if I make a short pass here and then continue there, we could straighten this out a little bit. Maybe do it. Go like this. Lift up here a little bit. Probably go back somewhere here. Now it's gonna be a little bit more straight, I guess, next time. This slight curve here, this is fine. Raining again in the other end. It's one of those days. If you try to go outside and do anything, you're definitely gonna get rained on, even though it's not supposed to rain anything during the day, and it's really not gonna amount to much. It might rain like 1 or 2 millimeters during the day, even though it feels like it's raining all the time. It's one of those days. some good vibes. We got good vibes. We got some plowing vibes going on today. Tillage vibes. It's raining. Not very much though. Bother you to be leaning. I'm leaning to the left and to the right. It's a reversible plow, so it's now we're leaning to the left when I put the plow down here a little bit. Then when we go the other way, then we're leaning to the other side. So it balances all out. And it's very gradual, like very little. It's raining again. It's definitely gonna be one of those rain off, rain on every 5 minutes kind of days. Haven't checked the rain radar, but looking at the clouds, that's what it looks like. We're gonna get sunshine here in a couple of minutes and then back to rain. John again there on the... Or who is that? John is getting wet now, he needs to go in the barn. John is just out on a walk. See, John lost. Here's the deer in the ditch. Or who's this guy? Got a random guy walking here. NPC John. Some animal digging in the straw already. Probably the wild boars. Yeah, the forest here is growing nice. Like those trees were pretty small not that long ago. I would say those trees are like 6 meters maybe on average. Like we did brush cut that a few years ago, but since then it's growing pretty nicely now. Christmas tree forest almost. Christmas tree forest, even if it's not Christmas trees. Sunshine and rain at the same time. Classic weather. It's a little patch of this like looser soil because here it kind of throws it almost flat. But then when you have more harder clay, then it's just gonna flip over a piece basically. Clear sky, sunshine. What did it look like 2 minutes ago? Look at this now, it looks great, and then might start raining again soon. Variable would be today's word, I think. Variable weather. Also a big rock, but it should be like 10 meters out from that big rock. That one is kind of visible, so you should see that one.
now this piece here is probably maybe half a hectare. But it's probably the slowest half a hectare we have on the whole farm. Weird shapes there at the end.